Welcome all. In this video, students, we are going to check the definition of array in C++, how array can be used, what are the advantages, disadvantages of array. That is what we are going to discuss, and most of the program of double dimensional array, which is two-dimensional array also we can say, we are going to see. For single dimensional array, already I have given some of the program in some of the previous videos. Okay, without wasting time, let's check the theories of array. Array is defined as a collection of similar data items stored in contiguous memory locations. Array always store many values of similar type in a single variable. That already we know before, also I told in my previous videos. In this case, what we came to know, now it's stored in contiguous memory location. Continuous memory location means it will keep the data in a serial manner. Fine, in a serial manner means it will keep the data in a serial location. For example, integer occupies 4 bytes of memory. Suppose the first value it kept in 400, the next it will keep in 404, means 404. Next it will keep in 408. Fine. So this is how 4 bytes plus it will keeping. In some of the places we have seen that integer occupies 2 bytes of memory location. So in that case, if the first one of the first location, the address is 400, the next will be 402, next will be 404. So this is how 2 byte plus it will keep. That is what continuous memory location or contiguous memory location. Fine. Let's go for next. Array are derived data type in C programming language, which can store primitive type of data such as int, char, double, float, etc. We are having 5 types of data types supported in C++, that is int, long, char, double and float, students. So in this case, what it is showing, these data types are primitive, means inbuilt data type, and array is derived type of data type, means array is user defined data type, you can say in some way. It has also capacity to store the collection of derived data types such as pointers, structure, etc., which we are going to discuss later. The array is simplest data structure where each data item or data element can be randomly accessed by using its index number. That is the main advantages of array. What? Now we can keep the values in a sequence order, in a sequence memory location, but the time of accessing the data, we can access the data from here and there. It is not necessary or it is not mandatory that we have to access them serially. We can catch some of the value from the between also, from the behind also, from the last also, from the beginning also. So that is what. C++ array beneficial if we want to store similar elements, in which case the array will be beneficial, or benefit of array we can get. Now, wherever we need similar element, many similar element to be stored in a single variable. For example, if we want to store marks of students in 6 subjects, in my previous video I have given you one example keeping marks of 5 subjects for 3 students. So in this case, in theory, the example is given. If you want to store marks means every student will have many subjects, might be 6 subjects, might be 5 subjects, and in a school there won't be a single student. In a school there won't be a single student. In a class there won't be a single student. There will be many students as well. So in that case, array will be more beneficial. So how? Now there, in that case, we need not to, or we don't need to define different variables for different marks in the different subject. So we need not to take so many variables. By taking a single variable of array type, we can do that, we can accomplish that. Instead of that, we can define an array which can store the marks in each subject at contiguous memory location. In spite of taking so many variables, we can take an array variable where, or which one will have the idea, means capable of holding many values of that type. Fine, that is what the advantages. Okay, let's check about the properties of the array. So the properties, the array contains the following properties. What are the properties? Let's check. First, it is saying each element of an array is of same data type and carries same size. I taught already, array has the ability of holding many values of similar type. That's why the size will be similar. Fine. And the data type also similar. Here it is example given that int 4 bytes. If each int occupy 4 bytes and we are having 4 values in array variable, so 4 into 4, so that much of area or that much of location memory, in memory it will occupy. Let's go for the second point. Element of array are stored in contiguous memory location where the first element is stored at the smallest memory location. Yes, that is also one point. When it store the values, it store in a sequence order. That is, the elements or the items of array get stored in a sequence manner starting from, we know, 0th index and continues up to n minus 1 number of index. So that's why it is saying as it starts with 0th index, so it is showing that smallest memory location. Smallest memory location means if the first one is 400, the location of the first one is 400, the address of the first one is 400, the next will be 402 or 404, the next will be 408. So this is how. Okay, so third point, elements of the array can be randomly accessed. That is one point, the most important point. We can access any of the values. For example, marks of the 50 students kept in an array variable, and I want to see the 10th number students mark. So I can see it easily. I need not to cross through 1 to 9 to watch the 10th number students. I need not to go through the 1 to 9 to check the mark of 9th number or 10th number students. I can directly touch the 10th number students to access the data. So random access capability is there with array. It means the data can be accessed randomly. Okay, for example, suppose you went to the bank and you asked to update your passbook. So is it necessary that all the account number they need to check before making the printout in your passbook, before giving you the updation in your passbook? No need. Directly they can reach to your account number and they can take the printout in your uh, passbook and they can give you. So that is what. It is not necessary that you have to go through all the records. Fine. Okay. Let's go for the advantages. Advantages first is given code optimization. What it is? Now less code to access the data. We need not to write so much of tedious code. We need not to write so much of confusing code for accessing any particular data which is stored in a variable. Ease of traversing. Traversing in the sense visiting. So using for loop, using while loop, using any of the looping structure, as for is easiest looping structure. So here the example of for is given. We can retrieve the element of array very easily. Fine. Using the array, we can easily using the for loop, you can easily access any of the data which is already stored in an array variable. Okay. Next point, it is given sorting, easy sorting. So how? Now sorting of elements, sorting we required in so many cases. Sorting of page number, sorting of serial number, sorting of roll number, sorting according to the mark. So that concept or that can be done using array very easily only by writing few line of codes, which already I taught you in single dimensional array. Fine. Random access, which again comes, we have to see it. We access any element randomly using array. Any of the data I can access from array very easily. Fine. Disadvantage is what? Now it has fixed length size. Fixed size. Fixed size means as in the beginning of the program we are specifying int n of 10. It means I will have the ability of keeping only 10 values. 11th number value I won't be able to feed it, or I won't be able to increase the size of the array. For that we have to learn linked list, which dynamically it will do. So array is always static, students. Static means if the size you specified in a particular way, that way or that according to that particular size only you have to specify the value. You won't be able to specify more than that value if instantly or in online you require. Fine. Now declaration, the practical point we will see the practically how array can be declared. For declaring array, the data type we need to write first, then name of the variable, then size within square bracket. So square bracket has to be there for declaring a array variable. Here three example I gave. One, marks of 15, it means I want to specify the marks of 15 students. I want to specify the grade of 15 students. Grade is character, so I wrote here char. Here average mark is like it is floating point value, so I wrote here float data type. So float 15, it means 15 average mark I want to store in a single variable, that is avg mark. Fine. Now let's check how the value can be initialized in array. As we learn, array the index starts from 0th location. So here the marks variable is written marks of 0 equal to 80. It means in 0th location the value 80 will appear. Same way in 1th location, 1th index, the value 60 will appear. Same way, so on. All the values has been declared here, initialized here, sorry, and it has been shown in the picture. Fine. Next, this is what we learn about the array concept, array definition and all. Hope all of you cleared about the concept, as the programs already we have done with single dimensional array in our previous videos. So let's go for two-dimensional array directly. Fine. So two-dimensional array. The two-dimensional array can be defined as an array of arrays. Arrays of arrays means there will be row as well as column. In single dimensional array, either the value can be kept in row form or column form. But in double dimensional array or two-dimensional array, we have to keep the values in 2D form. 2D form means row will be there as well as column will be there. It is known as matrix or matrices, which can be represented as a collection of row and columns. It is written here. However, 2D are created to implement a relational database look like data structure. See, here one diagram is given. It provides easy access holding bulk of data at once, which can be passed to any number of functions where required. Means the data what we kept here, it can be used wherever it is necessary. Fine, in randomly as well. Now let's see how it can be declared, the syntax and all. Like single dimensional array, we have to write here the data type, then the array variable name, then we have to specify the values for row, and second is column. It means we have to give two value in two square bracket, one is for row and one is for column. Okay, the example you check here, int is the data type I have taken, then I have taken here the variable as n, then the size of the row is 3 and the size of the column is 2. It means I want to design an array of two-dimensional which will have the ability of holding 6 values. And how it will keep those 6 values? Now in 3 rows and 2 columns. Okay, so this is all about your single dimensional array, the array concept and two-dimensional array as well. Okay, hope all of you understood the concepts very nicely. In our next video, we are going to check some of the program of two-dimensional array. Thank you.